Yeah.
Hello.
Mer.
There you go. I had... Will you make sure the camera stays on me when you do that? That'd be cool. With the way that Seattle and San Francisco are considering I've been to both, obviously, Seattle and San Francisco, the way they're predicted in film, I had this weird thought of. What did I say?
You're saying predicted.
Projected.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
The way that they're shown on film is very. I just had this thought of Seattle is Gotham and San Francisco is Metropolis.
That's interesting that you say that, because I always kind of thought like Metropolis was like Chicago and Gotham was New York.
Well, yeah, but I mean in this
sense, yeah.
In this particular instance, because I just realized watching this too that there's a lot of similarities in our cities in the sense they're both very coastal.
There's hipsters around.
Yeah, the culture is similar.
The
coffee and the smoking and
that stuff. Yeah, it's like, why are we talking about the movie right now?
Well, I wasn't. I was just talking about the because Gotham and Metropolis are very, very similar, but even in the same episodes of that show, the animated show, when they cut, Gotham's got the red sky, it's cloudy and brooding, and then Metropolis is.
Where was the Flash? Central City.
Central City, yeah, thank you. Central City.
Minneapolis?
Yeah, I was like, Central City's just kind of. It's a city, doesn't really have that much identity.
It's Detroit. No,
it's the Flash's city. What are you gonna?
Oh boy! All right.
But yeah. Anyways, this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Whoa, man!
Whoa, man!
Whoa, man! She was a thief. You've got to believe she stole my heart and my cat. Betty, Judy, Josie, and those hot pussy cats. They make me horny Saturday morning. Girls of cartoons
will leave me in ruins. I want to be Betty's Barney. Hey, Jane.
Get me off this crazy thing called love.
Hey guys,
I'm so pissed. I did it like 3 times before coming here. Like I just was like walking around.
It's probably you and me doing it together. Like as soon as like one little thing can throw it out. Yeah.
But yeah, hi everybody. How's it going?
That was fun. Oh god, I'm so glad I hit record.
I would have been like, take it from the top.
Oh man. Hope everybody's doing good. When is this one coming out? Hold on a second. How close are we to Valentine's Day right now?
Not very.
I think this episode might be closer than anything. It'll be on Wednesday following this episode. So
happy
going into Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So if you have been following, and if not, you may or may not know, we are doing kind of an unorthodox love block. So last week we did Risk Car's Love Story, which is kind of a supernatural, purgatory, dark comedy.
It's a conventional romantic comedies.
Yeah, and so this week we're doing So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yes.
Off the top, did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting to kind of watch again, like, as an adult.
I liked it a lot more as a young person.
And I think that, it's definitely got its like own specific kind of following, and it lives in its own like thing of Mike Myers stuff, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
It's very Mike Myers.
Yes. Well, it came out July 30th, 1993.
Yes, it did. Yes.
And
I didn't realize it was that old until...
Yeah. Well, so it was like he was cast in this because of the success of Wayne's World.
During the intro.
There she goes.
But they're doing the pan of the port at San Francisco.
Yeah.
Port of San Francisco. I just thought of that kind of thing going, music really makes the difference.
Oh yeah.
Because of what I wanted to do, if you might have to help me with that.
The
But
Lost Boys.
no, Interview with the Vampire.
Oh.
But take those.
Yeah. Okay.
And then swap the music for those because it's the same shot basically.
More or less, yeah. I mean, I could easily do that.
Because it would just be funny to have that really gothic music going over like Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I could easily do that.
See, that'd be funny. But yes, very 90s.
I mean, we kind of set the mood of this movie in another way as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't a really big box office hit, unfortunately. But it has like garnered like a nice little like underground cult following.
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie is maybe a little like underrated, but it's not. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think it kind of deserves everything that it it deserves what it gets.
I love how we're just like, yeah, it's good, and no, it's not, but it's.
I mean, it's an interesting synopsis.
I'm naked, aren't I?
Yeah, like synopsis. A man becomes convinced his girlfriend is a serial killer.
Yeah,
so that's what we're kind of going into.
Which is like, I mean, it's great, especially the whole thing, like. The journey, like, yeah, we'll get into it because, like, the journey, what this movie is actually really brilliant. It's, yeah.
That's the thing is, I think that's for me. That's what it is. The concept is really interesting. They just didn't really execute it in a way, in what I would consider a proper way.
Yeah, well, let's get into that with post reviews because I'm pretty sure the reviews talk about that as well.
Yes, yeah.
But like, how many movies for 1993? I had 36.
I had 24. I mean, which is fair because.
This was the year you're born.
I was a year old.
We've done a lot of movies from 1993.
Yeah. No, I even actually wrote. We did Groundhog Day, Last Action Hero, Addams Family Values, Hocus Pocus, and Super Mario Bros.
Yeah. This might be the year we've done the most movies from.
I actually this is the first time I've actually written down what we've done previously because I was just seeing so many. I was like, 1993 is off the docket for a minute.
It was a great year. Great year.
Great for films. Just showing our age.
All right, well, let's get into director and all that fun, rigmarole. That's not the right way to use that term. Anyway.
That's cool.
This was directed by Thomas Schlamme. It's
Schlamme. Yeah, Schlamme.
It's a Jewish name.
Yeah.
Schlamme. It just feels very... Schlamme. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
I'm sorry. Well, he's better known for being really like more of a TV director.
A lot of TV, yeah. I just wrote down ER, House of Cards, Ally McBeal.
He helped develop West Wing with Aaron Sorkin.
Oh, I didn't see that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's like probably one maybe his like biggest claim on there.
Very TV.
Yeah. I also put he was an executive producer on Tracy Takes On, which was Tracy Ullman's later show in the late 90s.
Oh, and I saw also a lot of comedy specials.
Yeah.
For people.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense now too.
Yeah.
Because of all the people that
are in this.
The comedians that were in this.
Yeah.
Including, Mike Myers, SNL, and...
Yeah. But yeah, he was. I guess he was maybe put on from Mike Myers. When I was reading in production, I'm drawing a blank on how he got involved. But it's more of the story of this movie is like who's written down as the writer, and then Mike Myers joining in a big way. So the credited writer is Robbie Fox, who's also known for writing for In the Army Now with Pauly Shore, yeah, and recently The Man from Toronto. Which that's Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson, right?
Yeah, it was actually it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it.
It's real. It is what. It's very aware of itself, but I don't know. Just Kevin Hart just has really great chemistry with everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Because he does that manic panic thing really well.
Yeah, very well.
And Woody Harrelson's like this gruff serial killer hitman guy, and dealing with Kevin Hart. And,
Woody, hey, Woody, Woody, what are you doing, Woody?
Yeah, like that. It's like so. That's a good.
Woody, put the gun down. Put the gun down, Woody.
Woody's very like flatlined, very centered, and so that's pretty fun.
Robbie Fox is the only credited writer for it, but when Mike Myers was brought on to be the lead, to be Charlie, he brought in a writer of his that he knew, a friend of his called Neil Mullarkey.
Yeah, and they were helping rewriting a story script that was written in 87, actually.
Yes.
So this kind of sat on a shelf for a minute.
Yeah. And it was kind of like the producer, Roger Fried, I want to say, is who, what is, and Robbie Fox, who had like kind of like developed this idea together. And the original concept was, I mean, it's kind of like, I think like the whole like, you know, girlfriend being an axe murderer was probably still always there and whatnot. But it was interesting more on like they were like talking about like the joke that spawned it all was like them bonding over this thing, like how it feels like women are always trying to like ruin their lives.
Oh, like them personally.
Yeah.
That's what this idea was. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's like they're out to kill me or something, you know?
Yeah.
Bazinga. Okay.
But also, I thought it was funny. Neil Mullarkey was Barnaby in Spice World.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rotation of our podcast in this.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the Hollywood pool. We're swimming around and looking at it. Look at that fish. Looks like that fish belongs over here too. Sorry.
But then, yeah, Neil Mullarkey was uncredited as one of the writers.
Yeah, he had to be uncredited. So the producers, like, they approached the Writers Guild of America, or no, they approached Robbie Fox, be like, hey, would you be down being like giving you like a story by credit and split like co-screenplay so that we can get Neil Mullarkey like his like co-screen, like a writing credit, because he put so much work into it. And Robbie Fox was like not into it. And the Writers Guild of America, they have very, very strict rules. Like once you as a writer have like something like copywritten under your like your name, it's like it's so hard to like change it, to get rid of it, or you want to get rid of it because you're going to get money for it. It's to protect people, the property of like people, like intellectual property, you know. But there is like some parts of it where it just gets really like ruthless, nitty gritty, and interesting.
Sounds like a headache. I mean, we kind of were talking about that back a while ago when we were talking about not the writing aspect, but just in general, like the Actors Guild, the malarkey and the rules about it, like
The malarkey of it all.
Neil, what was I going? Talking about 4 Rooms and Bruce Willis being in it.
Yeah.
And how you have to do these loopholes. Because what was that whole deal? That doesn't matter.
He was just uncredited.
But there's a reasoning to it because he wasn't going to be allowed to.
Something like that.
It was some weird drama, and then Tarantino, not Tarantino.
Yeah, Tarantino.
That was his segment, right? Yeah. Tarantino was like, I mean, can you just do it? And he's like, yeah, I'll just do it. You don't have to, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm Bruce fucking Willis in the 90s. I don't need the money. Right? Like, I'm
or
good.
Tarantino could have even like paid him out of pocket, like under the table.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's just weird that you do have to jump through these hoops and stuff.
Or like,
all
I'll
the
give you
time.
1% of Pulp Fiction sales. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sure. For the rest of your life. That will add up.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's kind of like behind the scenes of this all, like how this movie got created and whatnot. You ready to move into starring?
Mm-hmm.
Starring, who we've never done before yet.
That doesn't surprise me. But, I mean...
He's got a very actually niche.
Yeah, I mean,
set of
I've never
movie.
felt the need to review Austin Powers. I mean,
Twins, Basil. Twins.
unless we're gonna do like a satire thing, that would jump in there, you know. But yeah, Mike Myers, who plays our romantic guy, the boyfriend Charlie.
He was a stalker in, Halloween and. Oh God, what movie was that?
Baby Driver.
That's right.
It's a really funny guy.
That's a fucking funny.
That's a really simple, very funny joke in that movie. God, I haven't watched that since that review. I want to rewatch that. I liked that movie.
Yeah.
Wayne's World, Austin Powers, like we said, Shrek, SNL alum.
Very much, yeah. I forget the improv from Chicago that he did. Second Stage.
A Netflix show called The Pententive.
which is
Yes, I just saw that when we were setting up. And an interesting movie called Amsterdam with all I remember is Christian Bale's in it. I can't remember who else in it. I watched it first.
does he play more of a normal person like in this one?
He's you know, this, if you're listening and you know what I'm talking about, I might be totally wrong, but he's like he works for the British government. He's almost, if I remember correctly, he's almost like an M for the Secret Service.
Okay. So he is a character.
Yeah, very, but not the usual. He's a very quiet, but still very eccentric.
Yeah.
but very kind of off and very,
Mike Myers is so weird.
very weird Mike Myers. But
Yeah.
it was really cool to see him older in this kind of more quiet, but still very eccentric role.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amsterdam was a very interesting movie, and I think you would like it a lot.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I've seen a lot of Austin. I've watched a lot of Austin Powers. I've watched a lot of Mike Myers stuff. I've realized, except for Cat in the Hat. Never seen Cat in the Hat.
I
don't know how. I know what it's like. I liked How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but then I saw like they're gonna just start doing Dr. Seuss stuff, and I was like, I don't fucking.
No, Cat in the Hat put the nail in that coffin.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why I'm like, out of morbid curiosity, you haven't watched what about that made it, because also like talking about the unhinged Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Nothing beats Cat in the Hat for his unhinged, like multiple characters, because the cat is a god basically.
Yeah, he's Loki.
So he's Loki. He's able to duplicate himself, and there's scenes where he's threatening to kill himself. That's another version of the Cat in the Hat. Yeah, you gotta watch Cat in the Hat, man. Just out of morbid curiosity.
Oh my god!
Just get yourself a 6-pack, sit there, and go. All right, here we go. You should. I think any like movie person should watch what brought the end to the Dr. Seuss stuff for a while.
All right, and then we have our love interest and female lead, Nancy Travis,
Who plays Harriet?
Yes, really. I've noticed like I don't really I haven't seen her in pretty much really anything else than this, and then like I remember seeing her in the clips that I've seen of Last Man Standing. I remember the Bill Engvall show. I remember liking that, and then didn't realize that Jennifer Lawrence came from that, which was weird.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know. Like she looks crazy familiar to me. It's like I've seen her. I know she was a character in an episode of Grey's Anatomy, and I only remember that because the episode just played. Because
Fair,
if I was watching
and
it,
we live in a simulation.
And we live, dude. This week it's been really bad, and I don't know if I'm just.
You're probably noticing just more things.
I think I'm a little clearer right now, so I'm just like, I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown in a second. Like we have watched Leslie Mann movies by accident all week.
That's crazy.
Just put something on, and it's not even. She just happens to be in it for a minute, or she's like
she's like a main character.
Yeah, I've watched like 5 Leslie Mann movies this week just by act. Just like this is something easy to put on, and then she pops up, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's everywhere.
What movies?
Well, we started with This Is 40.
Okay.
And then when it finally...
Fallon's getting ready, right? Sorry.
And then it finally... I don't remember the in-betweens, but...
Did you get to Big Daddy at some point?
No, the big one was... the one that made me realize was Blockers. That was the last one.
Oh, word, yeah.
The last one. Because I remember it's like, oh, yeah, Michael Cena... no, Michael Cena. Michael Cena. What's his name?
John Cena.
John Cena.
Just Michael Cera's head on John Cena's body.
Oh, we watched Barbie last night. That's why I'm thinking of Michael Cera.
Oh, okay. Hey, John Cena's in that too.
Oh my God, you're right. He's Mermaid Ken. What the fuck is going on?
We are really off track. I'm really sorry, guys. I asked the wrong question. We need to reel it in.
I'm having a very quiet existential crisis right now.
Oh, yeah. Kristen. What's her name?
Nancy Travis.
Nancy Travis.
Yes. Anyways, yeah. So I really recognize her, but I went through her list, and I think she's one of those people I've just seen off and on for a long time. So
I mean, honestly, for a decade long, she was on Last Man Standing, and I'm pretty sure just like we've seen clips of that show on whatever, like Instagram, commercials, what have you. You know,
fair.
Also, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, she's obviously fucking gorgeous, but like,
she's so pretty. There's
something with like her lip tension that bothers me a little bit. like how she's got like really stiff neck, and she like pierces her lip like, and I'm just like,
I don't know her.
You need to relax.
When she smiled, she had me weak.
Oh, dude, yeah, 100%.
She had a great smile.
Great smile.
Beautiful
and her
smile.
fucking hair is gorgeous.
Yeah, pretty, very like dirty blonde, curly hair.
Very thick.
Yeah, she was cute.
All right. Who do you got
Great
next?
smile. Anthony LaPaglia.
Yes. Who we have done?
Who plays Tony in this, and we talked about him in Salt and Sea, which was episode 161.
Yes.
If you want to go back and listen to that.
He's also Joe in Empire Records Simulation.
Yeah, that was part of this. Yeah, you need to know. And something more recent called Boy Swallows Universe, which I wanted to watch.
Interesting. Okay.
It's so funny because he's so much younger in this, but I like he's the like butt of the sexy joke. Everyone's like all the older ladies are really into him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you turned into a white sexy wee bastard, like it's just
Dude, like no, the mother is like all over him, and it's like holy shit.
I love to. Well, actually, totally forgot to look her up. Who was that?
Oh yeah, she's yeah.
Well, okay, yeah. So that's Tony, Anthony. Sorry, Anthony, who plays Tony. So Tony plays Tony. And then we had
I got Amanda Plummer.
Yeah, Amanda Plummer, who plays the sister Rose, who most recently is in the Star Trek Picard show. But I mean, the only thing I really remember is Pulp Fiction.
Reservoir Dogs. Wait, no, she's not in Reservoir Dogs.
I was like, is there a woman in Reservoir Dogs?
No, I don't know.
That's all men.
I was totally getting Tim Roth's character mixed up between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp
Mr.
Fiction.
Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. They're very completely different characters.
Yeah, but it's Tim Roth, Quentin Tarantino. It's not crazy to me.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction.
You're like Steven Spielberg. I'd be like,
Well, apparently she her like big breakthrough I was reading on her IMDb was opposite of Robin Williams in The Fisher King.
Fisher King is
Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Are you trying to look up the mother really quick?
Yeah, I really just feel bad because she was really funny, and I just
she was great. Yeah.
Mary, oh, that was her name, right? Mary. Oh, May.
There you go.
Brenda Fricker is the mother, and she's Pigeon Lady from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why she looks familiar. But she just looks different with that crazy red hair
and not homeless
and without pigeons,
not unhoused,
not unhomed.
But I mean, this also slew of just like special guest things with like
Oh yeah, like honorable mentions: Charles Gordon, Phil Hartman, Demi Mazar. Which I haven't seen her in forever. I can't even think the last thing I saw her in.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Tony's girlfriend at the diner.
Oh yeah, her. Batman or Batman Forever. She's
she's Two Faces, one of Two Faces, the goth girlfriend.
It's the opposite of Drew Barrymore.
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, I guess that's probably... She was also in that fucking... Remember that movie I brought up all the time? It was like a space trucker. I think it's called Space
Truckers. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in that.
She's like one of the leads in that.
Yeah. That would be a weird one to go back and watch. And Stephen Wright is another honorable mention.
Alan Arkin.
Oh, Alan Arkin. Yeah, there's a lot of... Michael
Jeffries. I'm thinking no. Kramer from Seinfeld.
Yeah, thank you. I was like him. Yeah.
And then
that was a funny scene.
What's really interesting is the guy that Tony tries to like commandeer the car from.
Yeah, he's a comedian too, right?
But like I think that was a very weird specific call to a movie that he did where he played like a con that was being transported by a police officer played by not Steven Seagal. Maybe it was Steven Seagal. I can't remember. Anywho, we need to talk about Under Siege in a minute soon. But
that was the coolest fucking story ever, man.
Yeah.
There's a thing. Might have been him. Might have not been. Not sure. It was a movie, and he was in a car with another guy that may or may have not been a cop.
You ready to go into reviews?
Fucking cop. Yeah, sure. So give us our scores.
Yeah. All right. So on IMDb, we got a 6.5. And then on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 53% tomato meter rating and then a 68% audience score. All of it feels right.
I got what it deserved.
Yeah. Especially, yeah. This was one of those movies when I finished it, I was just kind of like, I don't really know what. Okay,
Yeah, it was very like it's one of those. I feel like it's one of those kind of. It's kind of forgettable.
I mean, ish. It's so unique that I don't think like the story itself. I don't think it's forgettable, but the events.
Yeah, like I was watching it and I realized I didn't remember how it ended. Like I remembered the whole spoiler. I remember the sister being the killer.
I remember the whole chase scene on the roof.
I didn't remember that at all.
Yeah, I remember
and that was long too.
Yeah,
forgot how long.
So fucking clown. So clown. All right, well, let's get into reviews.
So Metacritic 54, which gives it a mixed or average. Positive 14 reviews, mixed 12, negative 4.
Yeah.
The top is a 90 out of 100, written by Unavailable at Timeout. The crass Scott jokes are irresistible. Alan Arkin's cameo as the mild-mannered police chief is sheer perfection, and the cultish references to beat poetry should please slumming hipsters. Like an exploding haggis, funny but extremely messy.
They're like the accuracy in that is fine, but I just really didn't. That reviewer feels like they were trying to be too clever.
Oh, Alan Arkins died. I just remembered that.
He did?
I thought he did. I thought he died not long ago. I guess so. I mean, I kind of thought it was just weird that it was, and I clicked on the link and it did a 404 thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he died in June.
Oh, sad.
Last year, yeah. There's just like, it didn't really talk a whole lot about, oh, now it's working.
Oh, it showed up now?
Yeah, it didn't when I was at home. I'm just seeing if there's a real quick, is there... Yeah, Myers takes a giant step for nerd kind in this less than subtle Hitchcock spoof, which aims a blunderness at serial killers, multilingual lounge singers, and the Queen Mother.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, okay. I just thought it was weird that expert... I was like, oh, they didn't really talk about Myers or...
Yeah, that was a weird bit of the weird excerpt of the
use.
review to grab, yeah.
But yeah, okay. But, well, let's just see. Because I made a note of the Portland, Oregon,
or what?
Or Oregon, Oregonian. Or Oregonian. I don't know. 75 out of 100 by Christy Turnquist. Just when it seems like axe murderer is headed to the gas chamber. Do we know?
I'm not going to read into why it's happening.
No, but do we know where we're to live?
I'm just go ahead and restart that. Sorry, guys, we had another technical difficulty like we did last week. Maybe my laptop is just finally crapping out, but what it is, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, but if that review that I first read is still there, I don't know why I picked that one.
Oh no, that first review is still there. You were in the middle of reading the second review.
Oh,
you were right at the beginning of it, so just restart reading that review.
Okay, well, so the first one was 75 out of 100 by Christy Turnquist. Just when it seems like axe murderers head to the gas chamber reserved for bad comedy, something amazing happens, it gets funny. And then the other one that I made a note of that I'm like, actually, that should just start off the segment with that. So it's weird. It's 75 out of 100 at Boston Globe by Jay Carr. The buzz was so negative on So I Married an Axe Murderer, but the buzz was wrong. Mike Myers' new comedy isn't quite as fresh and bubbly and goofy as Wayne's World, but it's hip, lively fun with only slight bit of sag.
That's very accurate.
Yeah, which I was like, that's interesting because maybe they didn't stick out because of the 75. I was like, oh, it's getting too low. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, that seems like you liked it more than a 75. From that little bit, it seems like you liked it more than a 75. I mean, I guess 75 isn't terrible.
No.
Out of 100.
I think 75 is still kind of high.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we kind of spent too much time on the positive. Let's 60 out of 100. Deason Thompson at the Washington Post. Axe is not art by any means. It's often overly taken up with resolving itself. But Myers and others create an enjoyable, loose, anti-slick feeling about the affair. Which I was like, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like, I would say like definitely the threes dynamics, the friend, him, and then his love interest, you know, and their relationship kind of blooming. And then you can kind of throw the parents into there as well. But watching the three of them, especially, I really liked Charlie on his own with his friend or his love interest, because you had the friend as like the sounding board who's trying to tell him like, you're crazy, you're paranoid, you're weird. And that those conversations did have moments where it felt very natural and very real, like two friends talking, but then Mike Myers would
be Mike Myers
about it. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. You're like, shut up.
Do you think he's like that in real life?
Oh, I don't know. If you really, I don't know. You could go through
interviews.
Well, I was gonna say go on Fly on the Wall with David Spade and Dana Carvey and see if he's ever done an episode with them. I'm sure he has. I mean, it's Dana Carvey. It'd be weird for him not to.
They kind of.
Did they have a thing?
Yeah.
Ooh, they had a Bill Murray and a.
Oh.
Interesting. Dana talks very highly of Mike Myers.
I mean, no, they respect each other very much.
Oh, okay. Not crazy, but he respects him. It sounds like interesting. But yeah, that's that. I feel like that'd be a very candid one if he ever did an episode of that. But yeah, that's their podcast, and they interview SNL alums and stuff. If you've never heard of it, it's cool. Check it out.
Fly on the Wall.
Fly on the Wall. And down to. This kind of partly agreed with too. 38 out of 100. Clifford Terry at Chicago Tribune. So I Married an Axe Murderer, originally set for a March release, starts out briskly enough with a nice, dark, off-stride feel, but like many comedies, fizzles out after the first lap, which is kind of how I was feeling that when I was saying it. I feel like it was a very interesting idea that just wasn't executed. And
I think the problem with it is the Mike Myers of it all.
I feel like that's kind of a dick thing to say, but I kind of feel that way too about it.
It's unfortunate that that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because this movie probably wouldn't. Well, I mean, it would have been just a completely different movie if it would have been anybody like originally there was like Woody Allen, there was Chevy Chase, there was a bunch of different like comedic actors that were like talked about.
Albert Brooks, Martin Short.
Yep.
Martin Short would have been good.
It would have been such a different movie.
Yeah, but he does that. Do you ever see Inner Space?
Yeah.
He does that anxious, like, hypochondriac thing really well.
Well, what's interesting is like even like there was the joke of it as well was that because of Robbie Fox and Fried, who originally wrote this like script and whatnot, the Charlie was supposed to be Jewish.
Not Scottish.
Yeah.
Or Scottish heritage.
Yeah, but since Mike Myers is a Scottish Canadian, like
he is Canadian. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
No, it was a Snapple fact in my head. I was like, I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah, he's Scottish Canadian.
Okay. I was like, no, I'm not sure though.
I was like, I want to say like his family, like his grandparents immigrated from Scotland to Canada. So like Scottish heritage, like the Scottish heritage in him is like in him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's like, so your script originally was like a Jewish man. So like that neuroticness, like, fits for that like caricature of like a non-committal, like a Woody Allen, a Larry David.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Larry David would have been great in this. Sorry.
Who's Larry David again?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh.
George from Seinfeld. That's Larry David.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
You're really just thinking about that?
Well, then I was also thinking about Woody Allen, too, because I think of Z from Ants.
Fair, yeah. I never really liked Woody Allen as an actor.
I never did really either. I mean, we're not going to talk about the other stuff. But it's like, I was just thinking like Z, like that character, he does that anxious, thing very well. So I could see that being a thing. But
which is weird because like in this script, it's like inherently written in for Charlie, but then you have Mike Myers all of a sudden being like, "Hello," doing a Mike Myers bit.
Because that's the thing is like he's like, are we getting into just talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, it's like that's the thing that's just really interesting because he has these, and that's why it's kind of weird. It's like he jumps like you watch Austin Powers.
Yeah.
you're expecting Austin Powers. You know what you're going into. You're going for, it's vulgar, it's crude, it's over the top.
There's a thing also really quick is that, like, when Austin Powers was coming out, people knew what they were walking into because they knew what Mike Myers would do. They understood Mike Myers' humor.
But the point that I was like trying to get at is the fact that with this, like there's like moments in it. Like there's a moment when, you know, when he goes and meets her at their meet cute, you know, their first at the butcher shop.
Yeah.
And he's just very quiet, and he can tell that he's kind of like, oh, she's really pretty, and it's very cute and sweet and very normal.
And she's kind of like little like meet cute with him as well.
Yeah, you know, and that's like really good. But even then, you know, in the very beginning when he gets his like coffee and he like does the fucking hello thing, he gets like, I'm sorry, I ordered the large cappuccino. Hello. And then suddenly he goes, I mean, seriously, look at this. And he just goes straight to normal again. And it's kind of jarring for this movie.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's because his character, like, sensibility and style of humor is cartoonish. And when it blends into a real world, it doesn't blend well.
Well, and that's what's weird.
This is what I was thinking. Look at his movie list. When has he ever just played a straight, normal character other than this movie?
Actually, I'm going to bring it up while we talk. Well, it's like... Well, and that's just so weird, too, because he did the classic Mike Myers thing where he played multiple roles, which I was trying to think about, and I think that's the SNL in him, right?
Yeah, but also, that was actually kind of like... I was reading on the Wikipedia, when they sat down at the table read, Stuart, the dad character, had not been casted yet, and Mike Myers was like, "Oh, I'll just read for it now, you know, just do it." And he read for it, and you know, he did the Scottish dad thing, and they're like, "This is perfect. We'll actually find a way to make this work for you."
Well, then, excuse me, but then it's like those Mike Myers over the top moments should have been reserved for
just that character, yeah,
that caricature of an older Scottish guy,
yeah.
Because, and even then too, there's that scene where the dad, I can't remember what the dad's name is. Stuart and Tony are talking, and Anthony is cracking. I'm like, this is utterly ad-libbed. This is just Mike Myers rolling with it because his laughter is
like an orange on a toothpick.
Yeah, the head, Heed, move. Like that whole thing. I love the kid's name is Heed, by the way. And
he's talking about how big his fucking head was.
I always thought he was just calling him head. Because I never watched things with subtitles until an adult. Yeah. I always thought he was just calling his son Head.
Head, move.
Head, move. He's gonna be crying and stuff tonight on his huge pillow.
You're gonna give the kid a complex.
But that's you can tell that Anthony is really laughing. There's no way he's like trying to keep it together, and I would love to see the outtakes of just what was said during those scenes,
because you know Mike Myers is staying so serious in the character with it the entire time. No matter how much someone's rolling, he's like, "Hey, I'm Stuart."
Yeah, it's like he's still Stuart.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, and so keep those moments for that character. It's fine because that's what he's good at. That, I mean, some of the best scenes, in my opinion, of Austin Powers is Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil's fucking a funny character.
How about no?
You crazy Dutch bastard. And that's the thing, is like, he's great. I get people. I know that there's kind of like two camps for Mike Myers in the sense of people like him and people don't. I don't really think there's a middle ground. But it's like, you got to give him credit for committing.
Yeah.
Like that entire, and I'm sure like there's obviously outtakes where he cracks up, but that entire scene that you just described or just mentioned, when he's got his little like mechanical evil chair, you know, like a wheelchair basically, and never breaking eye contact, very slowly. How about no? And the fact that he can just keep it together, you know, I mean, it probably helps that he's also not. He's saying it to him, his other character.
He's saying to nobody, like a stand-in or something.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's pretty impressive and it's pretty funny. But with this, I just found those moments where he became Mike Myers just so jarring.
Yeah.
And there's moments where it worked, like when he finds out that she speaks Russian. Mm-hmm. And he makes that Russian ballet joke, which was actually pretty subtle.
That feels like it. I mean, that whole scene is like the charm of the Charlie character. That is Mike Myers. Mike Myers is just a charming man as well.
But it wasn't over the top.
Yeah,
it's like
because I don't think that was a Mike Myers infused bit. I think that was like, oh, this is who Charlie. This was the Charlie that was written.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Until like Mike Myers started making tweaks, which I think that kind of like a Jim Carrey or anything like that has a lot of
influence. A lot of influence
of how the character.
How Mike Myers was like right at this point. Because of how successful Wayne's World was, how successful he was on SNL, he's kind of at the top of his game, top of the fucking world. He's skyrocket. It's like, and he's only going to get even bigger with Austin Powers coming out soon, and then Shrek coming out. And Shrek was a happy accident for him.
Yeah,
not even his brainchild anywhere. That was supposed to be Chris Farley.
I was like, maybe not a happy accident, but an accident. I wouldn't say happy. Happy might be the wrong terminology for it.
Whoopsies!
I know what you mean, but
anywho, so yeah, his influence is extreme in this, which is then unfortunate because I feel like this original idea or this like of unorthodox type of like romantic comedy gets weirdly disjointed because of Mike Myers' sensibility in it, because he wants to be the Mike Myers. Like, did you look at that? Did you pull up his IMDb list to kind of see like if there's anything where he's like a normal? He's like no prosthetic, nothing. Like, it's like this movie. I feel like it's the only movie that he's just been a normal dude. Even like I can think like Inglourious Bastards, he plays like a general. I forget which general it is, but like he's still playing a caricature of this type of character, of this type of thing, you know?
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of with Amsterdam, Inglourious Bastards. I might be fusing those two movies. I've seen Amsterdam, but I'm trying to remember Mike Myers' character in that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's what I'm doing.
It's like when like Mike Myers, he is like the character actor, like to a fucking degree, you know, to an extreme degree. Like him, that's why him and Dana Carvey had like very simple, you know, did Wayne's World so well together, and like their shit on SNL is like they were just such character actors to like a huge extreme.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that screams to me, or that there's a couple I haven't seen, but I'm like I don't know anything about that, so I can't say.
So I mean, so it's like if anything, it's like I give him like props for like going into this and like trying to do something more out of his like wheelhouse. And we just kind of learned that, you know, you should stick with the Austin Powers of it all, the Wayne's World of it all, the Shrek of it all type thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's not to say that he was, like, horrendous in this. It was just him.
No, yeah,
It's literally just, like, his brand and his style of humor didn't really blend well with the aesthetic of this movie. Even, like, kind of like Tony's character who, like, he's like, I don't really think I want to be a cop anymore.
Because
like,
it's not like the TV.
It's not like the TV shows and everything. And so like Alan Arkin's character is all like, well, then I'll, you know, like he's like throwing his like detective a bone, like I'll be a little more dramatic for you to make you feel like.
Well, and that's the thing that kind of does save these movies is it does have these endearing kind of cute moments of like that wasn't ha 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 funny, but that's funny, you know, that whole bit where, you know, and then he finally freaks out at him. He's like taking notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Could I do that differently? Could I do that a little less? Like pull back a little. Was that too much?
And it's weird. It's like all of these are kind of happening. And the thing that really makes this movie and the success of this movie is is she or isn't she a serial killer?
Yeah.
You know, like it's very well crafted, well written to this point of like, she is very sweet and endearing. Also, but it's also really frustrating that she isn't aware that her 3 ex-husbands were disappeared after. Like she's like, oh, they left me. It's like, what? Like what? And how is you not noticing your sister being crazy?
Well, it was funny too on that note because she had seen it, couldn't remember who the serial killer was. So I told her, I was like, whatever, it's the sister. Like, she's like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I was like, yeah, because it was right before you meet her. And I was like, they don't really bury the lead super well that it's going to be her. because she is really unhinged. The only reason that you kind of forget is because you forget about her because you don't see her really
because
again.
she's not really a character. She's just like a minor, like there's the walking in on her in the shower, and then she's like, "Don't worry, I won't tell Harry anything."
And then she's in the montages.
Yeah, and then there's like when he's going back to confess, like, "I made a mistake." He's like, because he's realizing she's not Mrs. X. It's like, "I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I was scared." Blah blah. Blah. And then she comes up. She's like, "Hi, Charlie." He's like, "Hello."
It's very holy hell.
Yeah.
Well, and I did think watching it again, kind of knowing the main plot beats and twists and everything, that what was I saying? Oh, Nancy did a really good job. Especially, it's one of like watching Fight Club again. Weird segue.
No,
but
it's fair. Yeah,
but like watching her and her erraticness and her perceived erraticness and her craziness and everything it's a woman whose husbands, the day of their wedding, abandoned her.
Yeah.
So she has these walls and these like defense mechanisms.
I'm the best husband I've ever had. Why would you say that? What do you mean?
Yeah. So I just thought
it
it was one great, like pretty well written, and also just Nancy's performance in it, where you are the first time you watch it, you're like, this lady is crazy.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm gonna go wash my hands. Don't
go
anywhere."
And it was great, but then watching it again, when you realize, oh no, she's just a really hurt woman that really just doesn't want to be left anymore. And you're like, this is kind of sad actually, because her sister's a crazy person, keeps murdering her husbands. Which
you took her away from me.
Which I really, really enjoyed noticing this time. I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool.
It's
like
even
cool
like
layer to add.
When like he goes like, "I'm gonna go wash my hands," and then she like follows him, and you get her point of view following him to the bathroom, and you're just kind of like, even you as the audience, you're just like, why is she following him?
Yeah, it's very psycho. You know, like
because it's also you get that misdirection of, oh no, this woman just confessed for the murder of Ralph, blah blah blah, but like, oh no, she also confessed to the murder of Abraham Lincoln,
Julius Caesar,
yeah. And like, oh no, Mrs. X is still out there, and it's like, then it's like, then you're thinking it's clearly Harriet. I forget why it quickly jumps back to Harriet. Because it's all just been connected with her, I guess. Oh no, the Only You. She starts singing Only You at the wedding. Only and that's when they
and then she
starts singing in her French.
And then we find out about the person that admitted to the crimes, and then he sends the picture from the wedding to everyone. And go, oh yeah, that's Ralph's wife. That's so his wife.
Yeah.
That's,
So it's like it's very well set up to be like Harriet is the axe murderer, and the twist of being the sister. It's weird is that it's like it's almost like a cop out type of twist, but it just works so well in like the comedic sense of it all.
Well, and I think that part of the problem right now, especially with right now in this time that we are recording this and talking about it, is you go in. It almost kind of has these real bare bones of a serial killer mystery, but then also kind of with the comedy, the comedy aspect kind of makes it lean into this whodunit kind of vibe. And just in the recent years, we've had a few really good whodunits.
Yeah.
And this is just a really lazy cousin of it.
Maybe not lazy. It's like a parent to it.
Yeah, okay, fine. I guess that's
an older distant relative.
An older distant relative, and it's which I'm trying to like this. This movie came out in '93. This movie came out 20 years ago. I mean,
30 years ago.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you need to like
you got to take it a little bit with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you have to eat the carrot a little bit, totally. Yeah. But it's just like, and we've had this, and you can't off the top of my head. We've talked about this before. It didn't lean into it enough.
It didn't. It leans lightly into
all of these things. It kind of is a rom-com, and then
it's kind of sticking. It's dipping its toes into like a bunch of different pools of water, and it's like, oh, that feels good.
And then the glue, and then the glue holding together is Mike Myers, basically.
He's the boat carrying.
Yeah, but then because of his jumping back and forth from the.
Being an actual like charming, charismatic dude to the hello.
It's that I don't know why that bugs the living shit out of me.
Well, you know what's really weird is when it was like the whole opening scene where it's like you're watching the cool like follow shot with like the cup,
that was actually pretty cool.
The cappuccino.
That was a cool shot.
I remember I was like, wow, this is really well choreographed.
Yeah, this is really good. That was a good
really
shot.
Cool. And then she hands it to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. There must have been a mistake. I ordered the large cappuccino." Hello, whoa, do you see this? Like, wow, really? And I'm just like, and I just immediately was like, ugh.
Well, because then he does like, oh, my sides.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I was like, dude.
And then he jumps to making fun of. He's like, you look like, well, what's his name? Starts getting
Bear,
Snoogie Bear.
Snoogie
No.
Bear. Yeah. Wait,
No.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear.
It's like,
You look like
Huggy Bear.
You look like Huggy Bear from Starscream.
And he's not wrong though.
No, but it's like, that's funny. The funny observation in a normal term. You know, it's not. Because even there's
I see what you mean, yeah.
You know, and that's like, it really...
It has this like weird over-the-top self-referential idea of like, oh, look, I'm Mike Myers and I'm funny, to like, dude, you look like Huggy Bear. What the fuck, dude?
And that's what I was saying when their relationship felt like two friends.
Yeah.
It's like, you look like you're trying to be an undercover cop.
Well, I am an undercover.
It's like,
yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
When you come over to my house, can you not dress like a 70s circa pimp? My parents are a little eccentric. It's like, that was funny. That was a good little dialogue back and forth, kind of building what their relationship like. They kind of bust each other's balls.
You know what's funny? It's like that entire opening sequence sets the tone of the entire film of understanding. One, like the follow shot itself is like a little bit of suspense, you know. Because
from her following him.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And then you get. You're going to get Mike Myers being Mike Myers. You get the relationship between him and Tony.
You get the relationship he has with women.
You get
he's overly paranoid.
And Tony is like, no, dude, like, what's wrong with this woman? What's wrong with this woman? What's wrong with this woman? And then you get the weird, charming hipster type character he is, where he walks up and he does his beat poet, woman.
Well, then also, like, just knowing a little bit, you get the, what was wrong with Jill?
Yeah.
And then
she smelled like soup.
She smelled like soup.
And what does that mean?
What? She smelled exactly like beef vegetable soup. You weren't there. You don't know. Yeah. And so you get like, okay, you're
sounds
totally...
like me sometimes.
You said it, not me. Just like, yeah. All right. Fuck her. So yeah, that is very good. Yeah, then that's actually good. That's great for this kind of movie too, where like you're gonna like it or don't. Watch the intro. If you don't like the intro,
because even it's like it's really quick to even the meet cute with Harriet. Because also she's a butcher. There's also her character doesn't really make a lot of sense. I feel like her character would have.
Why?
She's a butcher, but then her sister's like, I don't know, she's not always here. Why is she going from Atlantic City to Texas to here? Like,
because all those cities need butchers. That's actually a job you could jump around pretty well with.
I didn't really think about that, but like
it's a trade, you know.
Yeah,
you need
but
to know
it's
how
just
to do it.
But the way that the sister made it sound is like this is like their place, and like, well, like she's here sometimes.
Well, I think it's the
sister's being crazy.
It's the sister's place, and then Harriet kind of has more of a free spirit. So she jumps around a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the sister has.
But you see, but we're having to do the work to speculate that, and it isn't just, you know.
Yeah, I get that point, but it's also not, and you know, we've done that game with things where that's not a crazy speculation. She's a jumper. I'm a jumper. She jumps around a lot when it comes to living, but the job she does,
that ledge, my friend.
The job she has is actually something you could probably. I
didn't really think about that, but even still, I feel like, and it's because the movie itself is written very much to be through Charlie's perspective of thinking that she's trying to kill him the entire time. You know. So our lens of seeing Harriet is going to be very manipulated by that narrative in general. But I also feel like just the Harriet character herself, I don't know, maybe like it could have just, I don't know. I feel like there's like an ingredient missing to make her more of a compelling character.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that kind of circles back around to what we were talking about in general, is that this movie didn't commit to anything.
Yes, 100%, yeah.
So it is this kind of lukewarm on everything.
Yeah.
But which kind of in a weird way makes it work better, because if it were to have leaned to one of them too hard, it would have been obviously a completely different movie, but you would have missed certain things that did give it its charm.
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
moments, you know, like I don't know. We kind of talked about the you know like the. I don't know. There's a lot of montages. Sorry, I just got distracted by that whole butcher montage of just. I was watching it and I was like, man, this is a vegan's nightmare. They're just playing with a bunch of dead animals. But I didn't need that whole butcher thing montage.
I mean, that was kind of like a meet cute thing, though. It's like he's like, maybe it
was the way it was done.
Yeah, because it's being shot in a way to show how funny Mike Myers is.
Yeah,
you know, that's the thing. It's like
is that what it was?
It's the bit of like, oh, I'm Mike Myers and I'm quirky. I eat my what is it?
I eat my cake before I eat my dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the massaging.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it was just so heavy-handed.
It's like, okay, Mike, you're in a butcher shop. What
are you gonna do with the dead animal?
Yeah. What are you gonna do with this slab of meat?
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, he's like helping the customer, and he's like, I threw it at you now.
Well, what I did like about that though is that usually in those kind of moments, in this kind of like montage, especially 90s montage kind of thing, suddenly all these normal people then become part of the story, so they start playing around and they're now part of this universe for a second before they go back into the abyss that is an extra.
Yeah.
They weren't doing that. All the people in the butcher shop were fucking annoyed. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're all annoyed. They're just like, give me my shit and let me go. Like one guy, he grabs a flag, and I can't remember, Jamaica or something, some warmer climate, and he hands it to the guy. It's like, yeah, it's warmer here. You hear him say something but it's kind of muffled by the music, and the guy slams the money down, grabs it, and walks out. And at all these, even the guy he tosses it to grabs it, and he just has this look of like, the fuck are you doing?
Stop throwing meat at me, bro.
Which is kind of funny, because I think that also might be kind of the satire joke about rom-coms.
Fair,
but again, they didn't lean into it enough, because that would have been really funny.
Yeah.
Have this whole rom-com montage thing happening where, like I said, everyone gets involved suddenly. Suddenly the whole world is singing. You're like,
yeah.
The hell? And then, but like to have it kind of like, where, yeah, we're in our own little world. Yeah, well, they're not.
Yeah.
They want you to fuck off. Which I thought was kind of funny.
All right, we're at like 58 right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that flew by.
Yeah.
I watched this on AMC Plus. I don't recommend doing that if you have that.
Why?
It's so if you rent it on Amazon, it's 94 minutes, or right. Watching on AMC Plus is 93 minutes, and it's because it was formatted for
television.
TV.
What's edited out?
I don't think anything's edited out, because what it does the fade in, fade out for commercials, and I think that just took off for the
a little bit.
The hour and a half made it go down.
So I watched it on my Sling, and it was an IFC stream. So IFC doesn't really edit anything out, but there was just ads randomly in betwixt of it all, which then made it like closer to like almost 2 hours.
Oh yeah, okay, but I didn't, because the fade in, fade out, I was paying attention to see if it like, because sometimes you can tell like it's just they're like, how the hell did they get here? It didn't really feel like that, but it was just kind of weird. It made the pacing weird.
Fair,
because they put it in kind of weird spots.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, if you could watch it without that, if you want to, that just was kind of
recommend actually rent it on Amazon or something.
Yeah, just because it was like, because it's fine when it fades out and then commercial, you know. But
I mean,
it was like fade out, fade in, fade out.
If you have like IFC on demand stuff like through any type of cable, it's probably just for free to watch with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, how many carats?
I was gonna give it like a 2.5.
I'm with you on that. It's like I don't want us to start going into like 2.75 and whatnot, because I kind of feel like it's like in between a 2.5 and a 3 technically. So like I will settle for 2.5.
A high 2.5, I guess.
A high 2.5.
Well, no, because it's
a
just
2.5
like,
with a .5.
It's got its merits. But it's just, that's the thing. It's got its merits that really...
There are literally moments where I'm laughing really hard.
Yeah. Like, but that's the thing. Is like, just as quickly as it pulls you in with these moments, it can really shove you out really quick. And you're like, and then something kind of pulls you back in. You're like, oh,
one moment that really stuck out to me was like when he's like doing the leg exercise thing and
the poison, yeah,
and he's hearing about the poison, and she comes in like, I made this smoothie for you. It took me 20 minutes, and he's like,
well, then, but that like kind of take back about Harriet's character too. That was like a little too I don't know. You're like.
Though he's acting weird about it as well. That was just a weird scene.
Well, it's like that was them really trying to like, she make you the audience go, oh, she is the killer.
Yeah. And
it wasn't very subtle.
Yeah.
And you're like, you should have kept with a subtleness about it.
And then like, but I really like how he gets into that closet.
Like that's very SNL.
Very, yeah. It was very just, and then like everything falls. I was like, oh, that's one of the few like Mike Myers bits in this, and I was like, that was actually kind of funny. Just him. Because also, like, he literally closes the door and then realizes that he's not in the bathroom. Just like if I don't move, she won't.
Oh yeah,
see
yeah.
me.
He just kind of like realizes he has nowhere to go. Like,
and she's like, fine. And she leaves, and he's like, and then just everything falls on him.
I did actually kind of like the father Stuart. I thought was pretty funny. I mean, he said some stuff that was.
What was he singing at the wedding? With
if
bagpipe?
you like my body.
Yeah. Oh, also the soundtrack of this movie was great.
Yeah, the soundtrack was good. I didn't really need to hear "There She Goes" that many times. I think it got to 4 throughout the movie, and I was like,
it's true.
Just because it's like that movie, that song is really gets stuck in your head material.
Oh yeah.
So you like the second you forgot about it, and it was like, oh, it's like there she goes again.
Here we go again.
But like the
Hello.
hello. I don't think I could be friends with him because
if he was like that.
If he would do.
Oh yeah, 100%. If he was like that in like real life, I would be like, I'm leaving this dinner party.
I can't deal with it. I can't. But just that'd be funny if he was like that, but you just started doing it back to him, and it just causes never ending. He goes hello, and you go hello, and he hello. It's just.
Hello. Like a fuck two parrots just yelling at each other. All right, we're at 62. Let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah, so we'll give this a 2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Cool. Let me put it in the movie journal. What are we doing next week?
I think 500 Days of Summer.
Ugh. Okay.
Just waiting for that. He's
Fucking. All right. Whatever. Fuck it. Let's do it. Hey, maybe I'll change my mind about it. Probably not. I mean, it's better than Silver Linings Playbook. So.
I mean, that's just depressing.
Yeah, I'm like, I can watch. It makes me think of like High Fidelity.
That's fair.
And I hate that movie too.
I love that movie.
I know you do. You like these fucking weenies.
No, they're because they're horrible people.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, you can learn from them.
Anyways,
Don't be that guy.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. That you can see all of our promos coming up for what we're doing. And join us again next week for our unorthodox love story block with 500 Days of Summer.
I think we're just technically moving into that more toxic.
Yeah, it's more of like a toxic thing.
Yeah. It's examples of toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Material.
And so follow us on those to see our posts promoting our episodes, and then also on there you'll find our link tree, which has pretty much all of the main streaming sites, so YouTube, Spotify, Apple, so forth. So you can find to listen to it your favorite way. And I think that's everything, right? Is everything?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hello.
Whoa, man. Whoa, man.